ग्लोबली फेमस स्काईलाइन एंड मोस्ट आइकॉनिक अट्रैक्शंस मूवी और टीवी में आपने तो कई दफ़ा देखा होगा। कहते हैं कि ये शहर कभी सोता नहीं है, बहुत कम शॉप्स रात में यहाँ बंद होते हैं। जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रही हूँ अमेरिका के उस शहर की जो कि मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंशियल मेट्रोपोलिस एंड मोस्ट पॉपुलर एंड मोस्ट इंटरनेशनल सिटी है, विच इज़ द न्यूयॉर्क सिटी। न्यूयॉर्क सिटी ऑफिशियली द सिटी ऑफ न्यूयॉर्क और हिस्टोरिकली न्यू एम्स्टर्डम। फॉर्चुनेटली मैं न्यूयॉर्क सिटी के कैपिटल अल्बानी में पिछले कुछ समय से रह रही हूँ और ये न्यूयॉर्क सिटी पूरी दुनिया में अपने आइकॉनिक अट्रैक्शंस के लिए काफ़ी फेमस है। तो आज के इस वीडियो में हम देखेंगे न्यूयॉर्क सिटी की खूबसूरती, आइकॉनिक अट्रैक्शंस और बहुत कुछ। न्यूयॉर्क सिटी इज़ द मोस्ट वेलकमिंग प्लेस इन द वर्ल्ड। न्यूयॉर्क सिटी जिसमें कि 5 बोरीज शामिल है, द ब्रॉन्क्स, ब्रुकलिन, मैनहट्टन, क्वींस एंड स्टेटन आइलैंड। एट इट्स कोर इज़ मैनहट्टन, जो कि एक घनी आबादी वाला शहर है। दैट्स एमोंग द वर्ल्ड्स मेजर कमर्शियल, फाइनेंशियल एंड कल्चरल सेंटर। NYC के 5 बोरीज में से प्रत्येक में आइकॉनिक अट्रैक्शंस का खजाना है। Accessible NYC is your guide to experience the richness of the city's offering, including arts, entertainment, dining, museum and galleries, families attractions, sports and recreations. So are you ready to explore New York City? So let's go.
First stop, a tour of Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. The Statue of Liberty is one of many landmarks that attract travelers to New York. In an average year, more than 3.5 million people visit the Statue of Liberty, and you can be one of them. There are many options for viewing the statue from the harbor, but I recommended taking the time to go to Liberty Island to see it up close, visible from much of Lower Manhattan. A visit to the Statue of Liberty gives travelers the chance to get up close and personal with this iconic piece of America. ये फ्रीडम का एक पुराना प्रतीक है। द कॉपर स्टैच्यू, नाउ टर्न ग्रीन विथ एज एंड ऑक्सीडाइजेशन, इज रिकॉग्नाइजेबल द वर्ल्ड ओवर। स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी तक पहुंचने के लिए मैनहट्टन के बैटरी पार्क या न्यू जर्सी के लिबर्टी स्टेट पार्क से फेरी की सवारी की आवश्यकता होती है। Which island you land on first depends on which ferry you take, but both ferries do require you to undergo security screening. एक बार जब आप लिबर्टी आइलैंड पर अपनी नौका की सवारी से उतरते हैं तो आपको एक इंफॉर्मेशन सेंटर, म्यूजियम, इंडोर डाइनिंग, एक थिएटर एंड एक गिफ्ट शॉप मिलेगा। स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को देखने के लिए कोई एंट्रेंस फी नहीं है, हालांकि फेरी राइड के लिए आपको फी पे करना पड़ेगा। Once inside the statue, you can take the 355 steps to the top of Lady Liberty's crown, where 25 windows give visitors unprecedented views of the surrounding waters and the city. For visitors to New York City, making a trip to the Statue of Liberty is easy enough via private or public transportation to the ferry terminal at Battery Park, because both ferry services make stops at both Liberty Island and Ellis Island. It's convenient enough to plan on making a trip to both of the monument's attractions. फ्रेंड्स, इसके बाद चलिए टाइम्स स्क्वायर की चहल पहल और चमकीली रोशनी में डूब जाए और उसके बाद इनकम्पेरेबल ब्रॉडवे शो का लुत्फ उठाए। दोनों ऐसे एक्सपीरियंसेस जो आपको NYC के अलावा कहीं और नहीं मिल सकता। Visiting Times Square, located in Midtown Manhattan, is one of the most popular things to do in New York. Times Square offers a wide range of things to see, do, eat and shop. You can enjoy street performance, explore museums and galleries, as well as catch award-winning Broadway shows. One of the main reasons why Times Square is so popular is the sheer amount of theaters along Broadway in Lincoln Center and Theater District. टाइम्स स्क्वायर में 40 से अधिक थिएटर हैं, जिसमें से अधिकांश मिड टाउन वेस्ट के थिएटर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है। Catching a Broadway show is a must in New York. The New York Amsterdam Theatre is one of New York City's oldest functioning Broadway theaters. And also, Times Square has featured in various Hollywood movies. You can get tickets at the theater box offices, though popular shows get sold out very quickly. आपके लिए सबसे अच्छा ये रहेगा कि आप इन शो की टिकट पहले ही ऑनलाइन खरीद लें. If you are on a budget, Ticket TS booths offer discounted tickets to the same day's performances for Broadway, off-Broadway, music and dance concerts. If you are in New York in December, you get to watch star-studded concerts and the iconic New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square. On the One Times Square building, you can see the city's famous Waterford crystal ball descending 77 feet from a pole. During this time, Times Square gets extremely crowded. Expect millions of spectators. So it's a good idea to come here in the early morning and stay until the event takes place. Most shops in Times Square stay open until 10 p.m. or midnight, giving you plenty of time to shop after you have explored the area's sights. You can find many prominent local and international brands such as Sephora, H&M, American Eagle, Outfits, Muzi, and Gap. Families and those with sweet tooth can check out either M&M's World or Hershey Chocolate World. Both stores offer customizable treats, great for mementos of your trip to New York. You can get to Times Square from just about anywhere in New York City. The Times Square 42 Street station is served by several subway lines. NQRSW 1, 2, 3 and 7. From Grand Central Station, you can take the S train to Times Square. Note that this is one of the busiest stations in the New York City, so avoid peak times if you are uncomfortable with large crowds. A good option is taking the NR or W train to the 49th Street station, located around 4 blocks north of Times Square. Take a trip to the top of the Empire State Building. Experience Grand Center Terminal, a unique architectural gem and city's major transportation hub. The Empire State Building has 2 observatories, both of which offer panoramic views of New York City and beyond. Its open-air 86th floor observation deck has been featured in many movie and television scenes. The top deck is on the 102nd floor, where you get to spot landmarks like the Statue of Liberty, Central Park, the Brooklyn Bridge, and Times Square. Both of the observation decks require tickets to enter, sometimes called the world's most famous building. The historically monumental and iconic structure is one that appears on many must-do and must-see lists for visits to New York City. The 4th tallest building in New York City and the 43rd tallest building in the world at this time. The Empire State Building has even been confirmed as the most photographed building in the world, according to one 2011 Cornell University study. There are 2 exhibit spaces on the 2nd and 80th floors, which you automatically receive access to when you purchase an observation deck ticket. Exhibits cover a range of topics including the building's history, current status, and sustainability efforts. Points of interest you can see from the observation decks: the building's original elevators, a modern marvel in their heyday, and the building spot in pop culture. A construction challenge like none other at the time, the building would be the very first in the entire world to exist 100 stories. Despite this challenge, the building progressed quickly, climbing ever upward at a rate of 4.5 stories per week and finishing up with only 1 year and 45 days of construction. You can purchase observation deck tickets online ahead of your visit to the Empire State Building and receive access both of the deck of your choosing and exhibits, as well as free Wi-Fi access. It's possible to book special experiences at the building, including behind-the-scenes tours and early morning access to the observation decks to watch the sunrise. Beyond the exhibits and docks, you will also find shopping and dining within the building. The Empire State Building is open 365 days per year, and for most visitors, a visit only lasts a few hours at most. The building is least busy in the evening hours, so it's better to time your visit for after dinner to avoid the crowds. अब बारी आती है ब्रुकलिन ब्रिज की। ब्रुकलिन ब्रिज न्यूयॉर्क के मैनहट्टन एंड ब्रुकलिन शहर को जोड़ता है। यह ईस्ट रिवर तक फैला हुआ है। Vehicles, pedestrians and cyclists use the bridge 365 days per year to make their daily commute or enjoy incredible sights of the Big Apple. After crossing the mile-long pathway, visit the many attractions surrounding the bridge, like the Brooklyn Children's Museum and Brooklyn Bridge Park, as well as the various sports fields, playgrounds, bicycle rentals, restaurants and piers. The Brooklyn Bridge has been one of New York City's most legendary symbols for over a century. The suspension bridge opened in 1883, crossing the East River and created the first roadway connection between Manhattan and Brooklyn. The bridge has transformed into a cultural phenomenon and makes regular appearances on the big screen for productions filmed in New York City. The bridge receives over 1 lakh daily who admire the spectacular panoramic views of the Manhattan skyline. Most pedestrians spend about 30 minutes crossing the bridge, but be prepared to stay longer on this scenic walkway. From its stunning architectural feature to the animated vendors selling unique items, a day on the Brooklyn Bridge will be a light-hearted occasion. Before construction on the Brooklyn Bridge began in 1869, Manhattan and Brooklyn were separate cities. German-born American civil engineer John A. Roebling designed the bridge, and the construction efforts were led by his son Washington and daughter-in-law Emily. When the innovative 1,595-feet crossing was completed, it instantly became famous for being the world's longest suspension bridge. Several of the coolest neighborhoods in Manhattan and Brooklyn are beside the Brooklyn Bridge. So don't miss the opportunity to wander along the Brooklyn highest promenade or relax inside the waterfront Brooklyn Bridge Park to take beautiful photos. From Manhattan, you can reach the Brooklyn Bridge by hitching a ride on the 4, 5 or 6 subway line to the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall station. It's time to go to Little Italy and Chinatown. These two completely different neighborhoods are right next door to each other. Little Italy has seemingly endless options for pasta, pizza and pastries. Plus a few annual celebrations that really bring the neighborhood to life. Coming from the Italian flavors of Mulberry Street, you will cross over Canal Street, the heart of Chinatown. Chinatown is like a city within a city. Chinese food, shopping, medicine, decor, you will find it all here. Chinatown is a vibrant neighborhood in the area south of Broome Street and east of Lafayette in Lower Manhattan. One of the best things to do in New York is exploring its busy streets. You will feel as if you are traveling to a different continent, with dozens of restaurants representing the cuisine of Southeast Asia, mainland China and Hong Kong. If you are a fan of electric items, the tiny museum exhibits quirky objects from all over the world, including counterfeit beauty products, selfie sticks, and toys left behind by immigrants. अब चलते हैं ग्रैंड सेंट्रल टर्मिनल। न्यूयॉर्क ग्रैंड सेंट्रल टर्मिनल स्टेशन is one of the city's busiest landmarks, with thousands of New Yorkers passing through it on their daily commute. Its exterior features Buick Arts, sculptures and architecture, while 44 train platforms and numerous restaurants can be found within. The main concourse is always packed with commute, but you can find iconic features like the four-sided clock and astronomical ceiling mural. which soars 125 feet above you, and a gourmet food market. Even if you are not planning to catch a train, it's not hard to spend hours exploring hidden nooks within New York Grand Central Terminal Station. Central Park. Central Park, the largest green space in New York, features over 20 playgrounds, man-made lakes and ponds, as well as extensive walking tracks. It often hosts a variety of activities, exhibitions, and concerts, especially during spring and summer. Central Park has plenty of family-friendly things to do in New York. Take a stroll through the Ramble, pay tribute at Strawberry Fields, go skating at Wallman Ring, picnic in Ships Meadow. You have plenty of options, and you will see other New Yorkers out here doing the same. Visiting Central Park is a great way to get a glimpse of authentic NYC life. Most kids will enjoy the Castle, Central Park Zoo, the Central Park Conservatory Garden, and Belvedere Castle. While rain might get in the way of a good time at the park, don't let cold weather stop you. Central Park in the snow is classic New York fun. And ice skating here in winter is magical. It's open to the public all year round, and guided tours are available for a few dollars. Metropolitan Museum of Art. New York is chock full of fascinating and historical museums, but the Metropolitan Museum of Art managed to stand out among the others. It's the largest art museum in the United States and among the top visited museums in the world. The permanent collection alone has over 2 million works. Its halls are filled to the brim with art and culture, so you can spend a day here and not see it all. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is also conveniently located at Central Park, so it's near another must-visit attraction on this list. The Met entrance fee is pay what you will, so it would not break your budget. The museum is world famous for the size and quality of its collection. And it's located in the very heart of Manhattan. It can be easily accessed by subway, and its major stop along what is known as the New York Museum Mile. And now it's time to go to Financial District. Don't let the name fool you. There's so much more to this neighborhood than money. The Financial District has a richer history than any other neighborhood in New York. Here are just a few of the landmarks here you cannot miss. New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street, Charging Bull, Federal Hall National Memorial, Trinity Church and its famous churchyard, Battery Park. While you are in the area, stop and grab a bite to eat at Stone Street. An entire block reminiscent of the Dutch architecture that once covered Lower Manhattan. Easily walkable, full of history, and home to the beginnings of American government. The Financial District may just be the highlight of your trip. One World Trade Center. One World Trade Center, also known as the Freedom Tower, is the tallest building in the United States and offers terrific views from the One World Observatory. The building is famous for two reasons. First, it is the site of the former World Trade Center that was destroyed during the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Second, the skyscraper tower above any other building in the country. It stands at 1776 feet and consists of a remarkable 104 floors. It is impossible to miss the building when you pass the lower Manhattan part of New York City. The One World Observatory is the star attraction of the building. Every visitor wants to take the skyport to the top. From the top of the observatory, you can view the whole city and its thousands of landmarks. One World Trade Center charges for access to the building, but kids younger than 5 get a free pass. The queue to get into the skyport can be long and frustrating. With higher priced tickets, you can quickly get access and bypass the line. There are strict rules you have to follow for a smooth tour of the Freedom Tower. Bringing food and drinks to the building is strictly forbidden, and pets are not allowed. You need to buy a ticket to visit the observatory and eat at the restaurants in the building. निगारा फॉल्स। फ्रेंड्स, अगर आपके पास टाइम है तो निगारा फॉल्स जरूर जाए। ट्रस्ट में बहुत अच्छा लगेगा आपको। Niagara Falls is a geological wonder and one of the most famous waterfalls in the world, standing the border between the United States and Canada. It has been a popular tourist attraction for over 200 years, as well as a major source of hydroelectric power. Niagara Falls consists of the two waterfalls on the Niagara River, which makes the border between New York, USA and Ontario, Canada. The American Falls located on the American side of border and the Canadian or Horseshoe Falls located on the Canadian side. The best time to visit Niagara Falls in June to August. Summer is peak season and with good reason. Average highs rest in the low 80s. Mists and breeze from the waterfalls can make the area feel color. फ्रेंड्स, यूजुअली यूएसए न्यूयॉर्क में टिपिंग कल्चर है। अगर आप होटल्स, रेस्टोरेंट, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऐसे सर्विसेज यूज करते हो और टिप देते हो तो इसे अप्रिसिएट किया जाता है, अच्छा माना जाता है। सो लेट्स फेस इट, it's not always fun to tack a few extra bucks of your hard-earned money onto a bill. But since New Yorkers in the service industries, hotels, restaurants, and transportation usually have gratuity factored into their wages, tips are expected and greatly appreciated. You don't have to go overboard, but be sure to show the love for great New York City service. Note that there are an increasing number of restaurants these days implementing a no tipping policy. They either add on a service or administrative charge, or they have hiked their prices, and they use money to better pay their workers. The policy will typically be increased on the menu or bill.
So friends, it's not possible to show you everything in one video. My focus is on the major attractions to show you. न्यू यॉर्क सिटी एक एक्सीलेंट वॉकिंग सिटी है और आप इन सारे प्लेसेस पे बाई फुट जा सकते हो, एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो। कभी कभी आपको तेज़ चलने की ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है, ऐसे में आप सबवे या बसेज ले सकते हो। All public transit, buses and subways are accessible to people with disabilities. Taxis and cabs convenient and quick way है इन पांचों bodies पे घूमने का। Other ferries, pedicabs, cruise ship, bicycles are all great way to get around New York. न्यूयॉर्क शहर का वेदर डे टू डे, इवन आवर टू आवर वेरी करता है। एवरेज टेम्परेचर यहाँ का 31 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट जनवरी में और 72 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट जून में होता है। but recorded temperature extremes range from 50 डिग्री to 106 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट। फ्रेंड्स, आमतौर पे स्प्रिंग काफ़ी खूबसूरत होता है न्यूयॉर्क शहर का। हल्की हल्की हवाएं चलती है, काफ़ी सारे फूल खिलते हैं और हल्की हल्की बारिश भी होती है। गर्मी भी बहुत ही अच्छा होता है, हॉट सनी डे होता है, ब्राइट होता है और सनसेट काफ़ी लेट से होता है, अराउंड 8:30 पौने 9 बजे के करीब होता है। फॉल क्रिस्प और चिल होता है, तो आपको स्वेटर की ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है। और विंटर में तो बहुत ही स्नोफॉल होता है, काफ़ी ठंडा होता है और सनलाइट बहुत ही कम देर तक होता है। हालांकि स्काई क्लियर और सनी होता है। तो इसी के साथ इस वीडियो को ख़त्म करते हैं। इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही। उम्मीद है आपको वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। वीडियो पसंद आया होगा तो लाइक ज़रूर कीजिएगा वीडियो को, और चैनल को भी सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कीजिएगा। आप मुझे इंस्टाग्राम और फेसबुक पे फॉलो कर सकते हैं, लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में है। कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताइएगा कि आपको वीडियो कैसा लगा। मिलते हैं आपसे अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय।